So, hello. March 14, 3 p.m. I wear a green t-shirt. Bitcoin price is going up. So hopefully not a red t-shirt tomorrow. So not bad. Before we really go into the Bitcoin, we check always our front side from the website. And important is that the 2-year bond yield is down to 4.25. The 10-year is 3.56. So we see a real strong decline on the interest rates on the bond market. That's very important because, as we all know, the problems of a bank we can see in this unrealized gains and losses on investment securities came definitely because of the last 4 quarters. The interest rates were just raised too fast, and that obviously had to lead to the situation when banks come into problem, and this is what happened. But anyway, bonds go down, and also the inverted yield rate between the 10 and 2 years, the gap is about to close, and it's getting smaller. So that's a good sign. On the right-hand side, we see the Fed watch. Very important, as you guys know, on the 22nd of March, we have the next meeting. And in the moment, the majority thinks that we will see 25 points, minority of 25-30% believes it will be 0. I'm part of this because I believe they cannot put petroleum into the fire because we got, as you know, the interest rates in today. We will quickly look into it. And so this is a thing that they really have to put focus now less on inflation, more on being careful with what's going on the banking sector. So this is all good for Bitcoin, by the way, and yeah, this is why I wear a green t-shirt. We'll look into it. Well, as always, we check with the news, and Bitcoin price breaks today, but 26, actually it was 26.5. As U.S. inflation came in at 6%, we actually came down from 6.5%. And that's a good sign. So although we have all these big problems on the banking side, Bitcoin is very stable. And bear in mind, on Friday, Bitcoin was down to 19.5. So it's a very nice comeback. And that shows, it's the same with gold, by the way, gold went up. As you know, we believe Bitcoin is digital gold, and both went up. So that's a good sign. Another thing is the SVB crisis. Here are the crypto firms denying exposure to troubled U.S. banks. You know, there was a lot of fear that contagion could take place. Tether says no, we are not. Crypto.com says no. Germany says not. BitMEX says not. So that's good. So the contagion effect, which was a sort of on the horizon, is obviously is not a big thing. That's another good sign, and maybe one of the reasons why the price goes up. The same thing with Signature Bank. Germany says we have no funds where, as you guys know, we had last week, it started with Silvergate, biggest crypto bank, but it went on with SVB and a Signature Bank. So 3 banks in a week. That's not bad. And I don't think it's going to be the end, by the way. I mean, this is the problem when you print money since 2008 and you have no interest and you really flood the whole system with money, and all of a sudden you say, no, we don't want this anymore. We have to get the liquidity out of the market, and we increase like crazy the rates, which they did with Federal Reserve. So they're in big trouble. I want to be in the shoes of these guys, by the way, but anyway, they have to handle with it. And it's going to be very interesting to see what they will tell us on Wednesday in the press conference after the meeting. Okay, let's have a look live into the Bitcoin. This is live on a 4-hourly base. 25,945, so we are scratching on the 26. As you can see on the green candle, the last green candle, we were up to 26.5, down around about 26. Again, we came from 19.5, very, very nice. But as you can see on the RSI, which is on 82, I would not recommend buying At the same time, I have to say we don't recommend anything. You guys do what you want. You're responsible for your own doing. Because Bitcoin is a dangerous thing. The whole crypto market is dangerous. We try to help you with information. This is what we do with our website and obviously also with our videos. One day German, like yesterday, today English, tomorrow it's going to be German again. But from the indicator point of view, 82 is totally over a board market. Healthy areas between 30% and 70%. And as you see, we are on 82, so it's not a time to accumulate. Friday was a good time on 95. We were down 10% and not up 80, so we actually accumulated heavily on Friday. We're quite happy about this. So I was able to afford myself buying a new T-shirt. Hopefully I don't need a red tomorrow, but anyway, that's what it is. So we see the same with the MACD underneath. We had this bullish crossover and strong upturn. But as always, warning from our side, when things go so quick up, there is always a correction on the horizon. So don't get crazy because this was a very fast movement, $6,000, $7,000 in 3 days. That's quite a lot. All right, let's look into our website, the Bitcoin Future. By the way, go on this website, check this website. Anyway, give a thumb up if you like this video and push the abo button. Make sure that you will not miss any video we do. As I said, German, English on a daily change. We try to keep you really on a daily basis informed of what's going on. As you guys know, we developed our own models. We will look into predicting sort of a price future. Again, the disclaimer here, trading with Bitcoin involves a considerable risk of loss, including the risk that the price can go down to zero. Take this and bear this in mind. Okay, first we look in the psychology. Again, not a big change. We are on the left-hand side in the disbelief area. People don't believe really that the price will go up. We are not in the hope zone. We are far away from optimism. But again, this is the time to accumulate. Whatever you buy, you can buy Bitcoin, you can buy Ethereum, you can buy mines, there's MicroStrategy, there's Coinbase. I mean, there's a lot of things you can do. You by yourself have to look into it. But certainly now is the time because the next bull run will come. And if you come too late, obviously you lose money. If you come really too late and you buy too high, as we all know, trees don't grow into the sky. So, yeah, it will come down, certainly, like it always did in all cycles. So now is the time to accumulate and to watch at the same time. Fear and greed, 56% reflects the situation on the emotional side, as we were just talking about. That's a good sign because when you look on the time scale here, which is 1 year, and for most of the time in 22, we were really in the area of 20% in average, I would say, and now we are around 50%. Interesting is when you see this little gap on the right-hand side, which took place on Friday. This was the big depression thing. Nobody knew what's going on with SVB Bank, Silicon Valley Bank. Very quick recover. That's good. Okay, let's have a look into the heat map, crypto heat map. As you can see, it's all green. Very nice, very seldom. BTC, ETH, BNB, XRP, all very good. Solana. So, yeah, good time. Very important, the Bitcoin total long and short interest. As you guys know, we have a spot market, but the whole thing is, like the stock market, is well driven more on the future side because people have not so money, so we like to bet with little money. Take $500 and play with 10,000. Make a stop limit, you get stopped out, and this is why we see all the time short squeezes and long squeezes. In the moment, we see a short squeeze, 34% are squeezed out. Well, obviously not a long squeeze, but as people go now all long, maybe in 2 days we see a long squeeze and price will come down. Bear in mind, if we would have only a spot market, we wouldn't have a volatility on the Bitcoin. A lot of people don't understand this. They say, well, Bitcoin is up and down and crazy and $5,000. This is not because of Bitcoin. This is because of betting on the future market. because the smart money invests in Bitcoin or in companies who deal with Bitcoin. But there's a lot of dumb money out there in the world which hasn't got the money, and they play with little money, hoping that they bet on the right side. This is like you go to the casino and you say red or black, you make it or you don't make it. So this is stupid. But anyway, it drives the market. And always when we see big movements, you see long squeezes or short squeezes on the future market. All right, Bitcoin Rich List. This is the real deal because this is the spot market. These are the wallets. And you can by yourself look into this. Important is the number of Bitcoin loaded wallets or addresses. In the moment, 45 million is constantly increasing. Constantly, people load Bitcoins on the spot market into the wallets. On the other hand side, we see the Bitcoin dominance. It's a very elitary market, only 0.35%, which is about 45,000 addresses. They control 67% in terms of capital of the market. So there's a huge thing on the downside when people come in the moment. It's really the top smart money with very little addresses. And I will show you just now, talking 45,000 addresses loaded, controlling 67% of the capital. And when you look here, the active addresses in relation to the price, you see it's 18 million addresses active moving, but not loaded. I mean, active means there was at one point something in and now not. Well, anyway, these curves go along with the logarithm of the price itself, obviously more and less according to the price. Very nice is on the right-hand side when you see in my hand here, that we see a very slight move upwards, that there's more activities on the wallets beside the loaded wallets, with the same thing, increase there as well. So maybe we saw the bottom. The same thing is here on a long-term thing from Bitcoin total number of addresses from the early days in 2008. And you see constantly going up. In November 21 here on my hand, we had since then the drop of price, but at the same time it's an increase, and it's nearly 1 billion addresses now. So imagine out of a 1 billion, going back only 45 million addresses are loaded. So you see the huge potential for the future. All right, Bitcoin Google Trends, not much interest in Bitcoin. The spikes you can see is back in the last bull run. Everybody wanted to be in Bitcoin up to 100%. In the second, it was 80 in the first top. Interesting always is to have a look into the real data. We do this quickly. This is real on Google, and you see the world, and Bitcoin is more or less in half of the world. It's 69 regions. As you know, we have 193 countries. And here you have the top 5, El Salvador, Nigeria, and then already Netherlands, Slovenia, Switzerland. A lot of people don't think about Switzerland. They are really crazy about Bitcoin. And here I jump to the next 5. Austria, it's the same thing. Turkey, Germany, Cyprus, and Belgium. Interesting is, I jump up until we come to United States of America. They're on place 28. This is important because US, as you know, is the biggest market, and they have not much interest in the moment in Bitcoin. This is because of all the scandals and all the problems in the moment. But they will come back. And we need them because in order to really get a nice increase on the price, we need the US guys coming back and into the business. All right, here we see the last year of the Bitcoin. And you see here this nice bottom. Most likely it was the bottom, which was about $15,000. This was basically shortly after the FTX bankruptcy. And you see there's not that much volume. We had quite a bit of volume here when the FTX scandal took place, but since then the volume is not really high. This is because the interest is not so high. Okay, now we come to the price with Bollinger Bands, MACD and RSI on a daily base. Looks all very nice. Very important is that the MACD, we have a bullish crossover here on a daily base. And as I just said, the RSI even on a daily base is probably on 60%, moving maybe to 70%. So on a daily base, still quite good. On a 4-hourly base, as I said to you, we are definitely overbought. All right, here our short-term Bitcoin indicator, the Ammon Bitcoin indicator for 48 hours. On the right-hand side, you see the actual price, 25.9, left 27.63. This is for 40 hours, 48 hours, our prediction according to our model. Okay, now the model you all love and you're all crazy about, and we get, I don't know, millions of emails. No, it's not millions, but a lot. People ask what you do and how do you do it, but we don't tell how we do it. Anyway, so it's all green, and the yellow is good because we are overrated 1587. So the model is very much working. Target still on the right-hand side, 40.781, taking place on the halving time in April. And here our other model, which is a different mathematical method, also very powerful. You see the blue line is reality, is moving along the black line. And there are basically 3 scenarios going on the lower black line, jumping to the other black line or moving somewhere in between. And this model says 43.772. So overall, our prediction is for April 24, more or less 12 months from now, $42,000 according to the model. Last thing is, if you're interested, go on our website. There's a lot more information, by the way, from the stock market. Our portfolio is where, as you guys know, we are not only in Bitcoin. This is only part of our trading. Our main area is the stock market. You can see our portfolio. You can actually follow us, what we are doing there. You get a lot of background information. So go on the website, as I said. Here, the last thing is the medium-term interactive Bitcoin price forecast based on logarithm regression model, meaning you can play interactive, like all our charts are interactive up until 2030. That's quite a good thing. And because as a lot of people know out there, you have always this upper line logarithm, the lower, but the real thing is the middle line. And here you can play around and can check more or less how things more or less could be in the near future. Or, as I just said, you can go, if you want, up until 2030. Okay, you guys, I hope you enjoyed the show and the information. Enjoy the Bitcoin price. Hopefully today it will carry on and tomorrow carry on going up. But as I said before, usually when things go up, they go down. It always moves in waves. So don't get crazy about it. I wish you all the best and make the right decisions. Bye-bye.